Hey everybody, how you doing? Uncle Dan here. So, it's been a little bit since I've done a video. There's been a lot of changes on the Levine Homestead, if you will. Last week I had the opportunity to grab a couple chickens. Now, not frozen ones from the store. Living ones, live ones. Jennifer and I have been talking about doing chickens, but we kept saying, when we get it ready, when everything's ready. But what was happening was we weren't doing a whole lot to get things ready. So I decided at that point, when it was offered to me, to go ahead and take it. So I brought them home, and I had to throw up a quick fence and had to do some quick movements to make it so that they could be here. So this was on Wednesday of last week. Today's Tuesday, so tomorrow makes 1 week. So what we've done in a week's time is my son Corey came over. Oops, sorry about that. And he helped me do this. Now this enclosure is 10 by 12. And it's got a gate, as you can see. Corey devised that. That's the trap door for the chickens to get in and out of the coop. And it's 8 feet tall. It's 10 feet wide and 12 feet long. I'm going to put a top over this. I'm not sure if I'm going to use bird netting or if I'm just going to go get some more of the chicken wire. But either way, I made this handy dandy little swinging perch for the 2 chickens we got. So what we got was, we got 2 leghorns, which are notorious for making white eggs, by the way. I love me some white eggs. We got 2 leghorns. So I had to clean out the shed. I got this big old shed that I was like, hey, we could put the chickens in there, but I got to clean it because I had a ton of crap. That's all going to the dump. There's stuff over there. It's like life vests and oars for the kayaks. Just got to find a new place to put all this stuff. So I emptied out the shed and I built this chicken wire wall and door to be able to house the chickens we got. Now, I know some of you are probably looking at this and you're gonna come up with 15 different ways I could have done this. All right, let me start off by saying, I am not a carpenter, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I made it work, and that's what we got. So, we got this gate. I renovated this whole, I emptied it out. I haven't done much of the renovations to it yet. But what we're planning, because my chickens aren't laying yet, here are the 2 we got. These 2 young ladies here. I hope they're ladies. If not, they're going to make a good stew or roaster. Today, I got these little guys here. They're still a little nervous. They just got here. But they're kind of chilling out, relaxing. They all seem to be getting along pretty well. Not much fighting going on. What I'm going to end up doing once they start laying is I'm going to put the laying boxes over here. And I'm going to have it to be underneath the grapevines. And I'm going to have an access to be able to get in from the outside. I'm also going to put some roosts in here when I get time. So this is relatively new for Jennifer and I. I've never kept anything alive except my kids, well, my cats, my dogs, and we've been pretty successful at that. So figure why not, right? We'll give it a try. The plan is we're going to raise the hens for eggs, and any roosters we get we're going to butcher for food. Now the goal is more self-sustainability. I still have some work to do to the shed. If you look, the door is a mess. It leaks. I built this 11 years ago. And again, like I said, I am not a carpenter. I built it enough to put my stuff in it, and that's what I used it for. And it just became a catch-all. So I do have some work to do to it. I'm going to get some roofing for the roof. It's going to kind of sloop over the side so that it stops. The only leak that I really have, the only time it leaks, is when it's a heavy rain and the water gets into that seam right there and it runs down that ceiling, that rafter, and it just drips the whole way. You know, easy enough. I'm just going to get some metal roofing. I'm going to put it sideways up there and bend it over. I'm going to leave the holes there for ventilation. I'm going to screen them in. And I'm going to get some more tin for the roof. Be able to tin the roof. Eventually, I'm going to probably throw some T111 up over it. Over the sidings. And we'll call it good. I mean, if I get a couple more years out of that shed as a coop, man, that's going to be great. You know, Jennifer and I are talking about how we're going to develop the property. We have an idea where we're going to put some fruit trees. We have an idea where we're going to put some more fruit bushes. How we're going to expand the garden, where we're going to put a greenhouse. And eventually I'm going to have a couple chicken tractors that we can tool around the yard. So that's where we're at. That's the life we have today. I don't have a name for each of the chickens. I call them girls. I say, hey, girls. And they're starting, the two leghorns, the bigger ones, they're starting to recognize my voice. And when they hear me say, hey, girls, in the morning after I open up the slide, they come out. Or if I go in and I yell, hey, girls, they come in. Kinda, they go up to the door anyways. They don't quite come in yet. The little ones I just got today. So the little ones, I know there's two leghorns because they got that, the thing on the top of the head like these do. And then the other ones, so the person I got them from, hey Jenny, told me that the dad was a buff Orpington and the moms were different. So there was an Americana and I believe another buff Orpington female, as well as the leghorn female. So that's where we're at. We have a half a dozen chickens, probably going to get some more when they're ready. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to probably throw some videos up between now and our first egg harvest and see what's going on. We have been harvesting some stuff from the garden. That's primarily Jennifer. I haven't really dabbled much in the garden because that's been kind of her oasis during the whole COVID shutdown. But we have squashes, we have lettuces, we have peas, we have jalapenos. Where are the jalapenos? Over here. Or the peppers. We got tomatoes. Look at the tomatoes are growing in nicely. We got lettuces. We got kale, carrots. Again, peas, beans. We have some beets coming. We have some couple different varieties of beets coming. So the garden's going okay. We've had, like I said, some harvest from it. We've been having salads, or at least Jenny has, Jennifer has. I've had one or two salads. Not much of a greens guy. I should be. And then we have kind of our fruit bushes over here. Right now it's just overgrown. Well, not really totally overgrown, but I cleaned it out really good at the beginning of the spring, but it seems to be growing back quicker. But we have our blackberries and blueberries here. This is primarily where we're going to find the blackberries. There's not many other blackberry bushes on the property besides right here. But we have some blueberries. We have blueberries there, and we got blueberries all over there as well. So we're hoping to be able to harvest some fruit and be able to start moving on there. Somebody introduced me to another fruit today that we're thinking about looking at for next year. We'll talk more about that when we make that decision. So what we're planning to do is clear a lot of our property. We've already started clearing a lot of the property out towards the back. One of the things we're doing right now is I'm kind of putting some money aside. I'm not a credit guy, so I don't like doing credit. So kind of putting some money aside for a wood mill to be able to mill up some lumber out of the trees that we take down when we clear our property. I think that would both be beneficial to us and be healthier for our property. Our property is kind of overgrown with pine, but we started clearing over here. Originally, we had talked about putting a playground over here for the grandkids, but I think we both decided that playground would be fun, but teaching them sustainability would be better. So what we're going to end up doing is Jennifer wants to expand the garden over here, put a greenhouse in. We're going to start talking about what we're going to do with this area here. Over on the other side of the property, we're going to clear a bunch of trees, and that's where we're going to put our fruit trees. One of the things we talked about was taking almost all the trees from that side down, and then just planting fruit trees, apple, pear, so on. And then across the back of our property line, putting up some bushing fruits, so some more grapes. The fruits that we were talking about today, they're called Haskap, Haskap, otherwise honeysuckle berries or something like that. There's a couple different names for them. Jenny kind of turned me on to those. She mentioned them this morning, and I did some research on them. So this, okay, let me clarify. Jenny is somebody I work with. She's a coworker. Jennifer is my wife, so I'm going to try to remember that, because sometimes I call my wife Jenny as well. So I just want to kind of make that distinction that I'm talking about two different people when I talk about Jenny and when I talk about Jennifer. So Jenny has a farm over in Maine, and I'm really kind of learning a lot about this stuff from her. She's helping me out with the chickens, kind of telling me what's what. I was really freaked out when I put the babies in there this morning, because I didn't know if they were going to get along with the big ones, but she said they'd be fine. The foods they eat, so on and so forth. And with a lot of the gardening stuff too, she's a very talented and busy woman. Aside of being my coworker, which is almost a full-time job in and of itself, she's also a full-time farmer. So, she's been very helpful with kind of figuring a lot of that stuff out. And we continue to grow. And, well, we got a lot of rain today. I just noticed that. I put this here this morning, and it was empty, and it's full now. So I got to empty that out. But anyways, so that's where we're at. I figured I'd just share the video with everybody and kind of show you guys what's new on Uncle Dan's homestead. All right, peace.